Hello, this tutorial will explain how I edit glamour picture in Darktable on a Linux machine. So let's start. Let's open an image. And my picture is in this folder. It is a typical Sony RAW file, camera raw. 49 megabytes. So I open it. I get a picture. We can check the image information. We can see that the picture was taken by or with Sony a7 III. I used Sony lens FA 85mm, shutter speed 160, and this picture was made last year. We can close the image information and we look in the history. Sony uses presets for the raw file, Sony raw file, so we can let it as it is because it is a good starting point. We will use different tools for post-production. We will use color zone, we will use color correction, we will use tone curve, contrast, brightness and saturation, sharpening, contrast equalizer for retouching, exposure, and improving the skin in retouch tool. What we should do first is to change the exposure. This picture seems to be a little bit underexposed, as you can see, so it means we shall use the tool exposure. We need to make higher exposure, so we use the drawbar and take it a little bit to the right. We can check the picture and also the histogram. Now it seems that the picture is correctly exposed. If you check the picture regarding exposure, you can see that the right hand is a little bit overexposed, and it is because there was a light here shining from this direction. It means we can use again exposure, but new instance. We can check the draw mask. We can use brush tool and we paint this hand with brush tool in order to get a proper mask. We got the mask. Now what we can do is to make exposure a little bit down. A little bit again. Now you will see that the hand is underexposed. To make a proper selection, we blur the selection and it is ready. We can check. This is before when the picture was underexposed, and now this is a correction. Next step is to use the tool tone curve. Using tone curve we can get better image regarding colors and contrast. We check tone curves, and I usually use the presets called contrast, medium, gamma 2.2. As you can see, the picture of the model pops up. But this is not all. We have to use also the saturation. So we take draw bar and move it to the right a little, but not too much. Now we can check the result. This is without tone curve and contrast and brightness saturation, and this is after. Now we highlight ear and eyes. Tone curve, new instance. Select draw mask. Select brush and paint on the ear. Check the mask. Make it a little bit here. Blur mask. Uncheck. And take the curve up, and the hair and eyes will pop up. Before, after this action. Now it's time to check the skin. Zoom in. And look properly at the skin. There is a small imperfection here in this area, here in this area, here in this area, and here. For this we will use tool retouch. Select lasso tool, shift left mouth for sourcing the good skin color and without imperfections, and select this part. Right click, gone. Again this part, shift left click, take a source and select with lasso tool. Right click, gone. Again here this part, the source is here. Left click, get the source and make a selection. Done. Now for this part of the skin we use another tool, and this is brush. Again, shift, click, get the source or the proper skin and paint. Right click, gone. Here we have also a dark part, but this is not because of the skin, but because of the dirty lens, unfortunately. So let's take lasso tool, shift click for the good part of the skin and select. Right mouse and it's gone. We will reduce the capacity for 90%, and that's it for the bigger skin imperfections. Perfections, we use another tool. It means for smoothing the skin. We can check the skin before retouch and after retouching. As this is a glamour picture, it is necessary to soften the skin and reduce the color differences of skin as much as possible. For this purpose, I usually use so-called contrast equalizer. This is this tool. I zoom in the picture, look at the face, at the skin, check my retouch. I get this nice curve, which is according to my taste. I mask blur a little and I start painting. This part we can soften a little. We can make it a little bit smaller. This dark part under this eye, this dark part. Moves a little. Here. Here. And here. I don't like the color of the skin on another part of the body, so I also can soften in a little. So I zoom out, make a proper size of the pencil and paint. We can check the quality of our retouching through contrast equalization. Zoom in and check. Before contrast equalization, you can see the differences on the face, and after contrast equalization. Also here, on this part of body, we can make a little more here on this part. This is before. You can see these differences here. This is after. Very nice, very comfortable. And we are done. So now completely contrast equalization tool before and after. We are approaching the end. We use color zone, color correction, and finally sharpening. Color zone, I want the model to have a lips a little bit more red, so I take curve up but only a little. Color correction, I like that the highlights are warmer and the shadows are bluer. So it means I take this a little bit down and here a little bit up. Not too much. Finished. Now I make a sharpening, but only on the part which I want to be sharp. It is eyes, lips, teeth, and also this dress, which I like. So we make a draw mask, take pencil and paint. Follow the body and this. And we are finally done. I end this process with my favorite dodge and burn editing. So we make a new instance in tone curve, take it up, create a mask, select pencil and paint the forehead, don't look at the colors, it will be differently. Nose, cheekbones, lips, chin, and arm. I made also dodge and burn technique using tone curves, but maybe we can discuss it in next tutorial. We are now finished. We completed the picture. We can check the original. We can check the final edition. And now we can save it in JPEG file. Open Darktable, select Export and select. Use your folder, quality 100%, JPEG file and export. Export to the disk, yes. One image is exported. And that's all. I hope you enjoy it. We have to improve ourselves as much as possible. Goodbye.